Hello everyone, this is more of a technical progress video on the ASCA spaceplane, as I have been doing from time to time because it does occupy quite a bit of my time, and I have finally gotten down to working on the cockpit area, which was the main goal. The whole point of setting up all the systems of the spaceplane was to make sure that we could get the cockpit laid out properly and much more detailed than the old cockpit that I had. So we see here the layout, and there's the two pilots that are the main deal. The other two passengers there would not be controlling the plane. There is plenty of space, by the way. This is also a crew area back here. So if we are just going to low Earth orbit, for instance, it would be easy to put a rank of seats here, here, and here, and altogether have 28 people inside the space plane. That would not be too hard. So that's an interesting point. It is capable of carrying quite a lot of people for a short amount of time, or a few people for a very long period of time. Right now we have the long period of time set up. Allow me to remove the structure here. I do eventually want to replace these red seats with more aviation proper seats on rails, so that the seats slide back, they get in, and they slide forward. And of course I'll have the rudder pedals and all that. But for now I wanted to set it up so that I knew where the panels and switches and stuff were. And so I've made myself a map. You can see the little dashes that are meant to ensure that I've got the UV map set up properly so that everything is oriented correctly. The front panel will have the multifunction displays and a few other things, and then there'll be screens on this portion and this portion here. The ones with the red and blue marks are the ones that would get the controls, and let me show you my proposed setup for the controls. So this is the basic control map, and up here we have the overhead panels. And then this was the side panels. This is the center console, and this is the pilot's arm side. And then this is the co-pilot's arm side. So around here, they'll be able to rest their arms, and then there's a control stick. And then here we'll have the RCS controls, and here they'll have the ISRU system controls. And you can see how it's laid out right now. So this is my proposed arrangement. There is a matter of weapon controls. I think I'll probably have them under the camera controls here. We might have some here too. But more or less this is how it is. The breaker's up here. So if we go back, we can try and point out where things are in the Blender view. And you can tell me what you think. So the breakers are up here. And then the engine controls are here, the battery, the hydraulics, the reactor, the fuel cells, the navigation INS sort of thing is right here. And then the lights are here. And then the climate controls and pressurization are here. And then down here we would have the landing gear. This is the control gain or sensitivity so that they can switch modes. And then the throttle levers will be here as usual. And then the autopilot here, and the computer controls back here. This is all set up very similarly to airliners by intention, because I'm familiar with some of those. And so I've sort of based it on the 737. But we do have things that wouldn't be in a 737. And that's what you get on the sides here mainly. So we have, for instance, the radiator system up here, the coolant system here, and then tank management is actually here. On a 737, tank management will be over here. We also have, there'll be a control stick here, and then the RCS controls over here. The seat probably would slide up a little bit further. The pedals would be a little bit further along, so they could adjust that based on their height. The current figure that we have here is my height, which is 6 feet tall. And actually should be slid a little bit this way. Anyway, so there's that. And then we have the co-pilot side. And there we have the radio systems are up here, a little bit hard to reach. antenna pointing is over here, and then camera controls over here, and then there'll be a control stick, and then the ISRU system controls. I might change the I might put the ISRU controls up there, come to think of it, and then have some of the more important controls like the radio over here. I think the radio and antenna pointing should be over here probably. So I'll probably switch those up after all. And that's the layout. Now, is there something I'm forgetting? It's possible. There are a lot of controls. I've tried to list them all out, and I'm going to start working on actually placing them. And then on the UV map, I'm going to have to actually type out the little labels for what each one is, and we'll see how it goes. So that's the cockpit work, and it is, a completely novel cockpit. There is no spacecraft or aircraft quite like this, and we'll see how it goes. More detail than has ever been put to a fictional spacecraft before. I mean, well, there are those Enterprise screens like in Star Trek, but most of them are bogus anyway. There's all semi-real, if you will. So I feel like that's important. But anyway, structure, and then the body, there it is. All right, so there you have it. Progress on the ASCA spaceplane. It is, the difficult part, really. Laying out the cockpit is a bit difficult, but it's not as difficult as making it fully functional. Of course, even if I put all the switches in, they're not going to do anything. It's just nice to have a fully laid out cockpit with a whole lot of switches there. It makes it look more official. So anyway, I will try to make an impressive IVA view like that, and we'll see how it goes. So with that, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press like. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.